Nightline begins now with me, Muhammed, Ahmad, Hamdan, and here are the top stories. PM stresses national sovereignty unaffected as trade deal with US contains exit clauses. And government looking to regulate 10 online games, including Roblox. Good morning. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has expressed regret over the action of certain opposition members who have made baseless accusations against the government on Malaysia's agreement on reciprocal trade, or ART, with the United States. The Prime Minister urged them not to hastily cast negative assumptions about the government's strategic relations with major world powers, including the US and China. Speaking in the Dewan Rakyat on Thursday, Anwar said the ART, which he signed with President Donald Trump last Sunday, ensures that Putrajaya continues to secure essential trade and investment from Washington without compromising the nation's sovereignty or interests.
Dulu bila kita baik dengan China, kita juga diserang. Yang Moa sebut tadi betul. Sekarang nampak baik dengan Amerika pun tak boleh. Dia nak kena dengan siapa ni? Nak baik dengan negara mana ni? Kelantan dengan Kedah je. Itu pun saya baik. Saya baik dengan kajaran yang Kedah. Tapi kena dengan semua lah. Jadi sepatutnya hal ini, saya rayulah rakan-rakan. Di belah sini, di belah sana. Ini soal negara.
Responding to claims that the deal would curb cooperation with China in the rare earth sector, Anwar said such assumptions were false and that China had even reviewed the deal line by line. He also told critics to read and understand the agreement before making accusations.
Saya tak minta susah terima kasih. Tapi jangan kutuk. Seolah-olah kita ini antek atau boneka Amerika Syarikat. Tapi yang perjanjian perdagangan ini, semua ada exit clause. Ya, ada exit clause. Mengapa kita sign juga? Kerana kita perlu pelaburan dari Amerika Syarikat. Itu saya tidak mau apologetic. Mengapa kita sign juga? Kerana kita perlu pelaburan dan perdagangan tinggi dengan Amerika Syarikat. Ya. Tetapi soal menyerah timbul.
The ART saw the US agreeing to maintain a 19% tariff cap on imports of Malaysian products. It also grants zero tariff exemptions for 1,711 Malaysian products in the electronics, rubber and palm oil derivative sectors. Malaysia, in turn, agreed to provide market access for selected American industrial goods. During the same session, Anwar also explained how he made full use of every opportunity to engage with Trump during the latter's visit to Malaysia to ensure that the issue of Gaza and Palestine receives a comprehensive and just resolution.
Saya jelaskan. Dan saya kata, saya gunakan istilah, tak pernah sebut 20 point. Ceasefire, comprehensive settlement. Kerana istilah comprehensive settlement, comprehensive solution itu, istilah yang disepakati. Tak selesai hanya dengan menghentikan serangan, tanpa mengiktiraf hak mutlak kedaulatan rakyat Gaza dan Palestin.
The Prime Minister stressed that the world cannot depend on a ceasefire in Gaza as a lasting solution, as such truces have proven to be fragile and short-lived. He noted that regardless of opinion, the US plays a crucial role in determining whether a ceasefire or cessation of hostilities can be achieved.
Yang paling penting bagi saya, yang sangat melegakan ialah peluang saya menyampaikan dari hati ke hati tentang permasalahan Gaza dan Palestin kepada Presiden Donald Trump. Secara rasmi 3 peluang yang saya sebut comprehensive solution to the Gaza-Palestinian problem.
He also said that Malaysia must continue to play an active role in providing humanitarian and medical assistance to the people of Palestine, including being ready to take part in peacekeeping efforts. Anwar also offered a reminder to those who downplay Malaysia's achievements, whether in hosting the 47th ASEAN Summit or in strengthening the nation's diplomatic relations with major global powers.
Nama Malaysia harum. Ya. Ya, dan ini kalau lihat umpamanya dalam sejarah, ini ulung-ulung kali berlaku. Gunalah kesempatan ini untuk bangunkan negara. Janganlah rasa sakit hati kerana kejayaan negara. Ini kejayaan negara. Ya, Perdana Menteri boleh datang dan pergi. Perdana Menteri, saya tegaskan semula, Tan Sri. Perdana Menteri boleh datang dan pergi, naik dan jatuh. Tapi negara mesti diangkatkan.
Anwar added that Malaysia's ability to bring together world leaders at the summit, as well as Timor-Leste's admission as the bloc's 11th member and the signing of the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accord between Thailand and Cambodia, clearly demonstrates the growing confidence in the nation's diplomatic capabilities. Anwar pointed out that the global attention Malaysia has received is not his personal achievement, but the result of the hard work of thousands of civil servants and volunteers who made the summit a success. Meanwhile, MUA Member of Parliament Syed Sadiq Syed Abdul Rahman highlighted the challenges faced by Anwar's administration in managing diplomatic and trade relations with major global powers amid an increasingly volatile geopolitical landscape.
I want to be fair here. Saya kesiankan Perdana Menteri Malaysia. Sekejap dilabel pro-China dan pro-Rusia ni beberapa bulan lepas. Kerana berjumpa dengan Presiden Putin, Lavrov, nampak terlalu dekat dengan BRICS sampai sekatan dagangan dikenakan ke atas Malaysia. Ada juga yang memeli pada masa tersebut. Mengapa tak mendekati Trump, tak dapat panggilan daripada Presiden Trump. Tetapi akhirnya bila mendekati, dia label pro-US pula. Realitinya sesiapa pun yang menduduki kerusi Perdana Menteri di Malaysia perlu bijak mengimbangi hubungan diplomatik di antara gergasi-gergasi besar. Kalau tidak, impak yang teruk adalah kepada negara kita.
In South Korea, Trump continued to praise Anwar's leadership following Malaysia's success in playing a key role in brokering the peace agreement between Thailand and Cambodia. Trump said with Malaysia's diplomatic wisdom and assistance, the peace negotiations were successfully concluded.
And Malaysia was fantastic, and they helped implement it. The Prime Minister was great guy, just left him. And within 2 days, we signed a deal, and the two people came in, they were like best friends.
He said this during his speech at the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation APEC CEO Summit 2025 in Gyeongju. Last Sunday, the Kuala Lumpur Peace Accord was signed by Thai Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul and Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Manet, witnessed by Anwar and Trump. The peace deal aims to resolve the long-standing border dispute between the two neighboring countries. The Prime Minister has arrived in Gyeongju, South Korea to attend the 2025 APEC Economic Leaders Meeting. The aircraft carrying Anwar and the Malaysian delegation landed at the airbase at Gimhae International Airport in Busan at 7:41 p.m. local time on Thursday evening. He was greeted upon arrival by Kimo Lim of the APEC 2025 Preparatory Office and Gyeongju Deputy Governor Ho Jun-song. Also present to receive Anwar were Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan and Malaysian Ambassador to South Korea Datuk Muhammad Zamruni Khalid. The delegation then travelled by official vehicle to their accommodation in Gyeongju, approximately 1 hour from Busan. Malaysia's balanced approach has positioned the country as a bridge connecting various economic blocs amid global trade uncertainties. The Prime Minister said Malaysia not only maintains close ties with the US and China, but also through ASEAN and APEC platforms. After receiving the 2025 APEC Business Advisory Council ABAC Annual Report from ABAC Malaysia Chair Datuk Ruben Emir Nanalingam in Gyeongju, Anwar said Malaysia's foreign policy remains anchored in neutrality and cooperation, keeping strong ties with major powers while strengthening regional stability in fragmented and uncertain global trade environment. He added that the report's call for open, rules-based trade aligns closely with Malaysia's pragmatic and neutral stance in international economic affairs. Anwar also said the report is a key reference for policy discussions during the APEC Economic Leaders Summit in advancing an agenda focused on people's well-being, economic justice and balanced regional development. The Prime Minister is set to hold a series of engagement sessions with major global investors on the sidelines of the APEC Economic Leaders Week 2025 on Friday. The meetings aim to strengthen economic networks and unlock new investment opportunities for Malaysia. Afrina Romzi has a report from Gyeongju, South Korea.
During his 3-day visit, apart from attending the APEC Economic Leaders meeting, Anwar is also scheduled to meet with global technology giant NVIDIA and YTL Power before an engagement with the US APEC Business Coalition. He is also scheduled to hold discussions with leading South Korean companies Namhae Chemical Corporation and biotechnology firm JS Link. This marks Anwar's second official visit to South Korea since taking office in 2022. His first official trip to the country was in November last year, during which Malaysia and South Korea elevated their bilateral relations to a strategic partnership. The partnership was aimed at strengthening cooperation across a range of sectors, including defense, trade, energy, and regional supply chain resilience. The Prime Minister is making the most of his trip to South Korea by meeting with major global investors, a continued effort by Malaysia to ensure that every trip yields strategic benefits for the nation's economy. Afrina Romzi, TV3, Gyeongju, South Korea.
The Communications Ministry is studying the need to license at least 10 types of online games, including the popular app Roblox. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadil stressed that such games are not suitable for children under the age of 16 and that the matter is currently being reviewed by the Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission, or MCMC.
Bukan hanya Roblox, tapi banyak permainan. Baru-baru ini ada senarai yang telah diterbitkan dalam media, dalam tulisan, ibu bapa, 10 bentuk permainan yang mungkin tidak sesuai untuk kanak-kanak bawah usia 16 tahun. Jadi kita sedang memantau, meneliti apakah mekanisme kerangka kawal selia yang terbaik.
Fahmi was commenting on a recent case involving a 6-year-old boy who was slashed by his 9-year-old brother in Batu Pahat, Johor on Monday. He said his ministry has since met with representatives of the game developer following the incident. He also stressed that such apps and games must fall under proper regulatory oversight to prevent such cases from recurring. Earlier, police revealed that the attack occurred after the victim accidentally damaged his brother's mobile phone, causing him to lose about 1 million points he had accumulated in Roblox. The boy is believed to have experienced hallucinations allegedly influenced by the game, which he claimed instructed him to harm his family. The Malaysia Competition Commission, or MyCC, has imposed financial penalties totaling 97.3 million ringgit on 26 companies involved in a bid rigging cartel linked to tenders worth 540.7 million ringgit. Domestic Trade and Cost of Living Minister Dr. Armizan Muhammad Ali said MyCC is also investigating 14 additional cases involving 563 companies and tenders valued at 2.7 billion ringgit.
Kalau tender terbuka tersebut tidak disertai dengan kawal selia yang bersesuaian dan wujud pula tender terbuka tetapi wujud ada pihak-pihak tertentu yang menggerakkan, melaksanakan aktiviti tipuan bida, it will frustrate the very objective yang telah digariskan kerajaan untuk mewujudkan keadilan, ketelusan dalam public procurement.
Armizan said this after officiating the MyCC Competition Summit 2025 in Petaling Jaya, Selangor on Thursday. He added that MyCC will expand enforcement efforts against bid rigging in the private sector starting next year, noting that the focus so far has been on government procurement tenders. Bank Negara Malaysia has announced a collaborative approach to explore tokenization aimed at developing secure and sustainable tokenized financial services. In a statement on Thursday, the central bank said its discussion paper on asset tokenization in the financial sector seeks public feedback to guide the formulation of a regulatory and developmental framework for tokenized assets. Bank Negara also invited written responses on key themes outlined in the paper, including specific policy proposals, areas requiring further clarification, and alternative recommendations for consideration. The initiative marks a step towards advancing Malaysia's digital finance ecosystem, ensuring innovation aligns with financial stability, transparency, and consumer protection. US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping have agreed to halt further escalation in their country's trade war, easing tensions that have threatened the global economy. Both leaders sealed a one-year trade truce on Thursday on the sidelines of the APEC summit in South Korea, their first face-to-face meeting since 2019. Under the deal, the US will halve tariffs on Chinese exports of chemicals used to make fentanyl from 20 to 10%, bringing the total combined tariff rate on China down from 57% to 47%. Meanwhile, Beijing will boost purchases of soybeans and other US farm goods. Trump hailed the meeting as a great success, saying that he would visit China in April. Xi, on the other hand, said both sides had reached an important consensus to resolve disputes between the world's two largest economies. GISBH CEO sons plead not guilty to wrongful confinement charge. This and more after this breather.
Lima finalis telah dipilih. Siapakah yang berjaya menjadi artis di bawah Alternate Records? Saksikan pentas akhir Ekstra 2025 pada 31 Oktober ini jam 8.30 malam hanya di TikTok Live Extra.
Tanah runtuh yang kedua tu yang ngerilap. Saya tinggal tu rumah, dia tak ikut hanyut pergi arah sungai. Masih bau hanyir, dia punya darah jalan.
Tiba-tiba saya terdengar dentuman macam buruh yang amat kuat.
Sistem interlock menunjukkan signal gelombang gempa bumi.
Setakat ini yang dijangkakan kita boleh sekuat 5.5.
Baca doa dulu. Allah Akbar, lupa. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftahli abwaba rahmatika. Ya Allah, bukakanlah pintu-pintu rahmatmu untuk kami. Amin ya rabbal alamin.
Lagi satu jangan lupa, kita kena niat iktikaf dulu. Okey. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nawaitu li'iktikaf fil hazal masjid lillahi ta'ala. Sahaja aku beriktikaf dalam masjid ni kerana Allah Ta'ala. Baru boleh masuk. Ini tak lupa. Jom.
Sorry lah.
Nightline continues. The Attorney General's Chambers has accepted the representation filed by CEO of Global Ikhwan Services and Business Holdings, GISBH, Nasiruddin Muhammad Ali, and 21 others. All the accused will now be charged with being members of an unlawful society instead of an organized criminal group. Deputy Public Prosecutor Shafiq Hasim informed High Court Judge Datuk Sri Latifah Muhammad Taha of the development during proceedings at the Kajang Prison Complex on Thursday. Shafiq said the AG's chambers, after reviewing the case at the highest level, had agreed to offer an alternative charge against all the accused under Section 43 of the Societies Act, which carries a maximum 3-year jail or a fine of up to 5,000 ringgit or both upon conviction. Judge Latifah then fixed November 7th for mention and reading of the alternative charges, while the trial remains scheduled for November 17th to the 21st. The defense had submitted the representation on May 26th. Nasiruddin, aged 66, together with 21 senior GISBH leaders, were originally charged in the Selayang Sessions Court on October 23rd last year with being members of an organized crime group since 2020. The charge under Section 130V1 of the Penal Code carries a prison sentence of between 5 and 20 years. In Perak, 2 brothers who were members of GISBH and sons of the company's CEO were charged at the Seri Manjung Magistrates Court with illegally confining a man for a month 5 years ago. Muhammad Suhail, aged 42, and his younger brother, Muhammad Urwah Nasiruddin, 33, pleaded not guilty after the charge was read before Magistrate Fakhrul Razi Abdul Hamid. It was alleged that the duo wrongfully confined a 30-year-old man at a workers' dormitory in Bandar Seri Manjung between November and December 2020. The charge under the Penal Code provides a maximum jail term of 3 years or a fine or both upon conviction. The court granted each accused bail of 3,000 ringgit with one surety and fixed December 17th for case mention. And over in Kelantan, a construction worker was charged in the Tumpat Magistrates Court on Thursday with the murder of his wife's cousin in Kampung Kok Bedola last Friday. No plea was recorded from 45-year-old Hamizi Hamza, who only nodded in understanding when the charge was read before the court. Hamizi was accused of murdering Muhammad Shuhairi Hasim, aged 46, at about 11:20 p.m. on October 24th. The charge, framed under the Penal Code, carries the death penalty or imprisonment for up to 40 years and 12 strokes of the cane if convicted. The case has been fixed for mention on January 28th. Earlier reports stated that the victim, a bulldozer driver, died at the scene after suffering severe head injuries and a severed left arm, believed to have been inflicted with a machete. Based on police investigations, the killing may have been motivated by a long-standing family dispute over inherited land and a viral video involving the suspect's child. At the Pasir Mas Magistrates Court, a couple pleaded not guilty to charges of robbing a pawn shop of jewellery worth 5.76 million ringgit and abetment. 59-year-old Wee Chin Ui was charged with committing robbery using a knife at a pawn shop in Pasir Mas around 1 p.m. on October 21st. He was charged under Section 392 of the Penal Code, which carries a jail sentence of up to 14 years and whipping upon conviction. His girlfriend, 57-year-old Wee Fei Fang, the manager of the pawn shop, was charged with abetting him in the robbery at the same location, time and date. The court denied bail for both the accused and fixed case mention on November 6th. Louvre heist, 5 more suspects arrested. The details when Nightline returns.
Warga Pulau Pinang, anda bertuah kerana Karnival Jom Heboh membawakan larian santai Jom Heboh yang julung kali diadakan. Jom bersama selebriti dan personaliti media prima untuk larian santai 5km yang menyeronokkan. Bukan hanya berlari, ada beg hadiah dan cabutan bertuah menanti anda selain kemeriahan di Karnival Jom Heboh. Ceriakan pagi Ahad bersama larian santai Jom Heboh, Ahad 9 November di Stadium Negeri Pulau Pinang, Batu Kawan. Untuk penyertaan, layari media sosial Jom Heboh Official di Instagram, Facebook dan TikTok. Jom kita lari bersama-sama.
Fan nombor 1, itu memang kamu. Jangan tunggu. Vote laju-laju. Undi calon top 10, 37. Kita bagi kecoh. Nombor 1, bintang paling popular. You are the one. Kita tentukan. ABPBH 37. Satu keunggulan. Memang tiada lawan. Joe. Undi straight. Sampai 17 November. Scan the QR. Cepat undi-undi. Benda free. Tak payah banyak bunyi. Tak cukup. Kita ganda lagi.
Tanah runtuh yang kedua tu yang ngerilap. Saya tinggal tu rumah, dia tak ikut hanyut pergi arah sungai. Masih bau hanyir, dia punya darah jalan.
Tiba-tiba saya terdengar dentuman macam buruh yang amat kuat.
Sistem interlock menunjukkan signal gelombang gempa bumi.
Setakat ini yang dijangkakan kita boleh sekuat 5.5.
Onto the foreign front, at least 2 more Palestinians were killed in an Israeli strike in northern Gaza on Wednesday, despite the claimed resumption of a fragile ceasefire. Local sources said the bodies were brought to Al-Shifa hospital after the strike in Beit Lahia. Zionist forces, however, claim that the attack targeted infrastructure where weapons and aerial devices were stored. The latest incident follows a series of airstrikes on Tuesday that killed more than 100 Palestinians across Gaza. In a separate development, Hamas said it will hand over the remains of 2 Israeli captives on Thursday as part of the US brokered deal. So far, Hamas has returned the remains of 15 of the 28 hostages agreed under the arrangement. Meanwhile, Palestinians in Gaza said they are losing faith in the ceasefire after the Zionist regime's latest wave of airstrikes killed more than 100 people, the most severe violation of the truce so far.
لأنه للأمانة تعبنا. للأمانة نحكي إنه إحنا ما بدنا حرب. والله ما بده الشعب حرب، والله الأطفال بيدعوا دائما بيقولوا يا رب نتوقف الحرب علينا.
دقيقة كل لحظة تخترق الهدنة وتقتل، فنحن نقول للعالم كفى 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 لغزة أن تعيش مثلها مثل الآخرين.
الضمانات اللي حكوا عنها وين الادعاء إنه في وقف إطلاق نار؟ أطفال والله ما إلهم في شيء، والله براء ما إلهم في شيء. ليش هم نايمين؟ إيش اللي صار؟ إيش اللي جرى؟ مش عارفة أنا إيش اللي صار.
Warrants of arrest have been issued against 27 Singaporeans and 7 Malaysians suspected of being involved in a scam ring operating in Cambodia. The Singapore Police Force said the 34 suspects are currently abroad and efforts are underway with international counterparts to locate and arrest them. In a statement on Wednesday, police said the suspects are believed to be linked to 15 individuals charged in September following a joint operation with Cambodian police that uncovered a government official impersonation scam targeting Singapore victims. Investigations reveal that the group has been operating from a scam compound in Phnom Penh and is allegedly responsible for 438 cases involving losses of at least 41 million Singapore dollars. Singapore police are now working with Interpol to issue red notices, and investigations into the organized criminal group are ongoing. French police have arrested 5 more people, including a prime suspect, in connection with this month's daring robbery at the Louvre Museum. Paris prosecutors said the suspects were detained around the capital, specifically in Saint-Saint-Denis on Wednesday. Among them was a key suspect whose DNA was linked to the 7-minute heist, though none of the stolen jewellery worth about $102 million has been recovered. The latest arrest followed charges against 2 men earlier this week, believed to be among the 4 thieves who used a truck with a lift and cutting tools to break into a first-floor gallery on October 19th. Investigations into the high-profile theft are still ongoing. Hurricane Melissa is battering the Bahamas with damaging winds and torrential rains on Thursday after killing at least 34 people across Caribbean nations, including Jamaica, Cuba and Haiti. The death toll continues to rise as the hurricane, which intensified to a Category 5 storm before weakening to Category 2, moves across the Bahamas and is expected to pass near Bermuda. Authorities in Haiti said at least 25 people, including children, have been killed. In Jamaica, 8 deaths have been confirmed, while 1 fatality has been reported in the Dominican Republic, bringing the known death toll across the region to 34. Cuba has yet to report any casualties, but has suffered widespread damage and power outages. On to sports now. Malaysia's golfers shone on the opening day of the 2025 LPGA Malaysia, delivering a strong start on home soil on Thursday. All 5 national players finished under par, led by Mirabel Ting, who carded a 5 under 67. The 20-year-old from Miri displayed superb composure, sinking 6 birdies against a lone bogey on the 6th to sit tied for 11. Liana Duricic followed with a 4 under 68 to place tied for 21st, while Kelly Tan, Ashley Lau and Genevieve Ling each posted 3 under 69s to finish tied for 32nd. Meanwhile, at the top of the leaderboard, South Korea's Choi Hae-jin produced a flawless 8 under 64, including an eagle on the 3rd, to seize the first round lead at the 12.6 million ringgit tournament. Turning to badminton, the 2025 Hilo Open. As of 11 p.m, 3 Malaysian representatives have booked their spot in the quarterfinals on Thursday. But the main talking point was in the men's doubles, where Goh Zifei and Nur Izzuddin Muhammad Rumsani suffered another shock exit. The pair's hopes of qualifying for the World Tour finals took a blow after losing in straight games to Denmark's Daniel Lundgaard and Mads Vestergaard. However, Man Wei Chong and T Kai Wei kept Malaysia's challenge alive, edging Indonesia's Leo Rolly Carnando and Bagas Maulana 21-9, 17-21, 22-20. They will next face Fajar Alfian and Shoaibul Fikri, also of Indonesia, in the last 8. Meanwhile, women's doubles pairs Goh Pei Ki, Teo Mei Sing and Ong Sin Yi Carmen Ting also progressed to the next round. And that concludes this edition of Nightline. Before we leave, here's a look at 89-year-old harp maker Noel Anderson, who enjoys a new leaf of life in his craft, one of only a few Irish people who still make the intricate instrument. With that, I'm Muhammed. Hamdan. Thanks for watching and stay safe.